Have you ever experienced the disorienting subtleties and explicit cues left by individuals who perceive us solely as tools to further their own agendas? This film delves into the deep nature of these detrimental behavioral patterns, focusing on 7 key indicators that clearly signal a lack of concern for your well-being and simply exploiting your presence. It's time to uncover the deceitful acquaintances in your life. Stay with us and learn how to create a healthy atmosphere and protect your energy. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, where you'll learn how to recognize and detach from harmful influences. Navigating the complexities of human behavior is a skill that requires both instinct and expertise. During our journey, we encounter a variety of people. Some enrich our lives, while others cause us harm. Identifying people who exploit us can be challenging. However, acknowledging these indicators is the first step in strengthening our self-worth and establishing firm boundaries. The first sign is one-sided deep communication. Genuine emotional connection involves the exchange of thoughts and feelings. Communication is the foundation of relationships, a means to convey emotions and experiences. However, concerns arise when we realize that we constantly play a central role in this dialogue. We are the ones transmitting messages into the digital space, initiating our presence and extending invitations to meet, while receiving only rare and limited responses in return. This paradigm, characterized by the active participation of one partner while the other remains passive, reveals a disruption in the dynamics of relationships. Comments made during these interactions are typically superficial and brief, resembling small notes in a vast narrative. This not only indicates a lack of interest, but also points to a deeper sense of alienation. Thus, we find ourselves in a solitary dance where the harmony of dialogue is visible only to one person. Faced with this communication imbalance, it is now necessary to engage in introspection. We must consider whether we are immersed in a world of mutual exchange or stubbornly swimming against the tide of apathy. Once this inequality is recognized, it becomes an important aspect that needs further exploration. In partnerships, it is crucial to examine whether our relationships are based on mutual interest and active participation from both sides, or if it is a one-sided situation where efforts are made by only one person. In conclusion, this initial indicator, which includes one-sided communication, serves as a catalyst for initiating a process of self-reflection and reassessment of our relationships. It is an opportunity to contemplate the significance we attribute to ideas and collective development. The second sign involves the use of selective availability within a complex network of human connections. One noticeable aspect that draws attention is the deliberate choice of availability. This phenomenon becomes evident when someone is consistently available and they need our assistance, but strangely becomes unavailable when roles are reversed. In situations where fairness in giving and receiving appears unequal, you find yourself on a solitary path. Your unwavering dedication and deep attachment seem undervalued. This behavior not only demonstrates a lack of attention, but also intentional disregard for your needs and emotions. Thus, deliberate availability implies a troubling truth. The person with whom problems arise is present only when convenient for them. This one-sided interaction can evoke feelings of irritation and emotional pain, making the partnership asymmetrical as the needs of one side are consistently ignored. Recognizing and addressing this situation is an important step. It requires introspection, asking ourselves if our relationships are mutually beneficial or merely a means to satisfy others' needs. In this scenario, prioritizing self-respect and self-care is crucial, prompting us to reassess our boundaries and determine if mutual exchange and respect are valued in these relationships. The third sign is a noticeable lack of personal interest within a complex network of human connections. It serves as a clear warning of the absence of personal investment. Genuine friendships and true companionship are characterized by a sincere interest in our lives, feelings, and experiences. They take pleasure in our stories, participate in our moments of happiness, and assist us in difficult times. However, when communicating with someone whose motivation seems solely utilitarian or focused on everyday conveniences rather than emotional or personal significance, conversations, if they occur, are likely centered on personal experiences and needs or only touch on superficial topics without any emotional or personal value. This phenomenon is troubling, indicating a lack of connection, where you begin to realize that the value of your voice and story depends on their ability to satisfy these one-sided goals. In a partnership, your role often reduces to that of a mere observer of their stories or a means to fulfill their needs. The absence of curiosity and empathy serves as a telling sign that your value to this person depends on what you can contribute to their inner identity. Acknowledging this fact may be unsettling, but is crucial for self-reflection and maintaining self-respect. It prompts us to ponder whether our relationship involves a fair and sincere exchange, or if we are merely viewed as insignificant participants in someone else's show. The lack of personal investment in the relationship is a warning sign, signaling the need to reassess our connections and seek environments where we are valued and respected. The fourth sign is guilt and manipulation in human relationships. This sign warns of the ominous phenomenon of using guilt as a manipulation tool. Manipulation can take various forms, but its essence remains constant: to influence, or rather coerce, the manipulated individual. Imagine a scenario where you frequently encounter circumstances where a subtle yet powerful force compels you to comply with requests or demands. Otherwise, another person adeptly manipulates your emotions, using them as puppets to achieve their goals. Phrases like "if you were a true friend" are used as strategic tools on the emotional battlefield to manipulate your nobility and compassion. These cunning strategies are often disguised behind a facade of normalcy or duty, deliberately crafted to create uncertainty in your own perceptions and emotions, making you question whether it's your obligation to surrender. Relationships built on such shaky ground can slowly deteriorate. However, it's important to acknowledge that strong relationships thrive when there's a foundation of trust, mutual respect, and the freedom to communicate and meet individual needs without any anxiety or coercion. If you often find yourself drawn into these manipulative tactics, it's important to promptly assess the situation to evaluate the long-term viability of the partnership and consider the possibility of implementing more beneficial boundaries. Recognizing and combating manipulation are bold actions that help protect your mental health and overall well-being. It's an act of self-assertion in which you assert your right to make decisions independently, without allowing yourself to be deceived or subjected to feelings of guilt. The fifth sign: a constant lack of respect for details within the complex network of human connections, becomes an obvious indicator of dysfunction. Respect is an important mutual aspect in any significant relationship and should remain unchanged. However, someone who constantly takes advantage of you typically disregards these boundaries. Imagine that you often encounter situations where your plans are suddenly canceled, or the other person is late, or worse, doesn't show up at all. This constant expectation from you to satisfy their preferences and desires is a clear sign that this individual does not value the connection. When these relationships are analyzed together, they form a behavioral pattern that clearly indicates selfishness and lack of attention to others. However, it's important to recognize that imperfection is an inherent human quality. Each of us becomes a target of manipulation at some point, but it's crucial to recognize and react to such situations. To protect ourselves from being exploited, it is important to pay special attention to these signs and understand how to react to them. Identifying the existence of unfavorable relationships is an important step in reassessing such connections and implementing strategies to protect our emotional and mental health. Delving into the details of human interactions, it is important to understand that we have the ability to recognize and respond to circumstances related to exploitation. Acquiring this knowledge empowers us to build healthier and more respectful relationships. The sixth sign, superficial connection and its consequences, is a symptom that manifests in complex human relationships as superficial attachment. This sign is particularly deceptive as it conceals the true nature of the relationship. The individual abuses the establishment of deep connections. This behavior is evident in interactions that rarely exceed superficiality. In this particular style of relationship, there is a recurring tendency to focus discussions on trivial topics, deliberately avoiding any exploration of deeper or intimate matters. These individuals maintain a strong sense of self-protection by carefully controlling their emotions. This invisible barrier impedes the development of relationships to a deeper level of trust and companionship. The connection seems perpetually stuck at the initial stage, where despite significant time investment, you come to realize that you lack genuine understanding of this person beneath the surface facade. This clearly indicates that the relationship holds no value for the other party as a priority and does not serve as a means for mutual understanding. Understanding this superficial pattern is crucial for your emotional well-being. It invites reflection on the significance and depth of your relationships. This sign prompts us to question whether we are directing our time and effort towards a productive environment that could foster mutual growth, or if we are holding on to a superficial connection that never evolves into something more substantial. Recognizing a superficial connection acts as a compass for making informed decisions, allowing us to protect our mental well-being and strive for relationships that offer genuine mutual exchange and depth. The seventh sign is the lack of significance during critical moments when it comes to understanding human relationships. This indicator is particularly revealing in its clarity. The absence in key moments reveals the true essence of strong and positive relationships, often not in periods of happiness, but rather in times of difficulty. The genuine nature of partnership is experienced in challenging moments such as illness, personal loss, or high-stress periods. Imagine facing one of these difficult situations, expecting help and sympathy from someone you consider a friend or partner. However, instead of assistance, you encounter emptiness. This person is noticeably absent, perhaps offering superficial consolation or generic phrases that resemble mere gestures rather than genuine expressions of understanding. This pattern of behavior, characterized by a blatant lack of emotional and physical support during tough times, is a troubling sign that the relationship may be significantly unbalanced, with one person investing strong emotional effort while the other avoids responding when needed. The absence during critical moments reflects the true essence of the partnership. The lack of physical presence is not the only issue, it is also the absence of empathy, emotional availability, and apathy that are most noticeable. The lack of assistance not only undermines the emotional foundation of the relationship, but also raises questions about its inherent value and authenticity. Acknowledging this truth may be distressing, but it is crucial for maintaining our self-respect and psychological well-being. Confronting this reality forces us to reassess the relationship and recognize the importance of developing more equitable relationships, where support and presence are mutual. Identifying these troubling indicators in relationships is an important first step, but the true determination of the character and fate of these relationships depends on our response to these realizations during critical events, especially those requiring assistance and unity. The absence of someone who should be there can reveal troubling insights into the intentions of those who exploit us, clear signs of these shortcomings that aim to foster healthier and more harmonious relationships. It's extremely important to establish clear boundaries. Expressing a negative response is a vital component of any mutually beneficial relationship. When you feel discomfort or pressure, it's crucial to express your boundaries clearly and directly. Unwavering adherence to your personal standards is behavior that demonstrates self-respect and protects your psychological well-being. Open and honest communication is crucial, especially when one feels exploited, as it can address misunderstandings and potentially prompt the other person to reconsider and seek help to resolve emotional complexities. In unbalanced relationships, another important measure is engaging in conversations with trusted confidants, close relatives, or qualified experts. They can offer valuable external perspectives as well as assistance and guidance. It's important to recognize that everyone deserves respect and fairness in their relationships. Acknowledging and addressing circumstances where your interests are disregarded is crucial for improving your emotional well-being. Acquiring skills to manage these difficulties enables us to establish and maintain stronger and more satisfying relationships based on mutual respect, empathy, and effective communication. By identifying signs of unbalanced relationships and taking preventive measures, you're taking important steps to protect yourself and promote healthy interactions. Remember, your worth is not determined by how people treat you. It's inherent and affirmed by how you behave in situations where respect or attention is lacking. Trying to understand people's true intentions and the nature of their relationships reveals the importance of mutual respect and healthy, satisfying relationships. It's crucial to acknowledge and take action, and most importantly, to show respect for yourself and others. If you've made it this far, you're among the minority sincerely striving for growth. If you have any further thoughts, please share. Stoic wisdom guides our attention, and we look forward to the next video.